Hi, my name is Cheryl Smith and I'm the owner of Consider It Done Transition Services. And today I'm working alongside the BHI communities and we're going to talk about getting started in the downsizing process. So let's talk about some steps to get you into the process. I like to think of it as you're on a starting line and your toes are right there and you just got to take that first step over. But remember, it's not a race. It's just getting started because we all take this process in different speeds and in different levels. So keep that in mind. Your neighbor may not do it the same way you do. The first thing is to wrap your head around the process and understand again the why and be realistic about getting it done. Don't tell yourself you have to get it done tomorrow or the next day. What I tell people is if they lived in their house 10 years, they've accumulated 10 years worth of items, you can't turn around and undo 10 years in 2 days. It's too much work. It adds that additional stress. So wrap your head around the process. Part of doing that is also talking to friends and family, getting them on board with you, letting them know how you feel. Let your kids and friends know if this is stressful, share that with them so they can be supportive as you start this journey of downsizing. So make sure they know where you are in the process and how you're feeling, but do lean on them because they're great support systems. Another thing to do as you're getting started is to think about your timeline. In an ideal world, it'd be nice to have 6 to 8 months before you make a move to do the downsizing. Some people have more, some people have less. But when you have that time frame, it gives you some time to really think it through and you don't feel rushed and you don't make decisions that you could regret down the road. So just think about your timeline as part of that process. The next thing to do that I think is really important, you're living in a home that you've been in for quite a few years. Make a list of all the things that you love that bring you joy. That list can be written down on a piece of paper. You could do a spreadsheet, or you can even take pictures and create a picture inventory if it's easy for you to remember and for your family to remember. Making this list of things that you love makes it easier to make that transition because you're taking some items that have meaning to you and that bring you joy and will make you create a new home in a new space. So remember to keep that list and make it available to everybody in your family because it's good for them to be part of that as well. The other part of the process, which can slow us down, is thinking of all the things we have to do. So what I want to do is have you think about the things that you can get done, and we're going to call those small wins. Those are key. Getting those small wins when you're going through the process. When I say small wins, cleaning out the closet at the front door because you have mittens from 30 years ago, getting the kitchen resource drawer cleaned up and organized, that's a win. Small wins are critical because as you're working through this process, when you have days that can be hard and days that are easier, you have to go back and celebrate small wins. So when you get those wins, let people know, pat yourself on the back, and use that momentum to keep working through the process. And as I said that, you may have heard me say, there are hard days. And sometimes you need to expect some of this work to be hard because it is emotional. You have attachments to many of these items in your house. There will be hard days. And to help alleviate some of those hard days, I'm going to also suggest that you start in areas that are less emotional for you. So for example, maybe a sewing room where you just need to go through patterns and material, but maybe save a closet that belonged to a spouse who's passed away or a child that's moved out. Save those areas for later because more emotional rooms and spaces cause us to slow down the process and we don't move forward like we should, and those small wins don't come as often. So think about how you work through your house and what areas are going to create quicker wins for you. You'll eventually get to the more emotional areas, and we'll talk a little bit more about how you can address those items in some of our other videos. Another great way to keep the momentum going forward and to get more small wins is to ask for help. That help could be friends or family. That help could be someone with a professional background. So a professional organizer, a professional move manager who can come in and walk with you through the process. One of the things I love to do as a downsizer is to help people make those decisions and move forward. I can be a cheerleader, I can be a voice of reason, sometimes the devil's advocate, but we have that ability to keep people moving forward. And again, our goal is to get you to a space where you have less stress and more fun. So remember the process, remember the goal, the why, the reason you're doing this. So get on that starting line and get started and go for that win number one.